Hi, I'm Joe Hoff, Technical Architect and Project Manager for the DynamoDB solution at Technology Services Group. And today I want to walk you through how to set up our new Open Content Management Suite DynamoDB instance that we just released on the AWS Marketplace. So first off, we just need to head on over to the AWS Marketplace and search for Open Content DynamoDB. Our solution should get returned as a result, and we need to subscribe to the solution and then continue on to the configuration of it. So here this is going to give you some options. These should be defaulted for you, so if these work, that's great. You might need to change your region if you would like. And then after these settings look good for you, you can continue to the launcher. So to launch this software, we do provide usage instructions, but I'm going to walk through those for you right now. So the first thing that we need to do is, instead of launching from the website, we're going to launch through an EC2 instance. So we'll select Launch through EC2 and click the Launch button. So this takes us first to our instance type that we want to launch this through, and we have defaulted and recommend a T2 medium for this particular launcher. So once we have that selected, we are going to configure the instance details. So the instance details should also default most of what you need. The only thing that we need to do is set up an IAM role for this instance. So we're going to say create a new IAM role, and we're going to go up and create role here. This needs to be an EC2 role. And for the permissions, we just need to give this Dynamo and S3 permissions. So we can search for the DynamoDB, and we're going to give it the DB full access permission. And then we can search for S3, and we can give it the S3 full access permission. So next we can go ahead and tag this if we would like. And we can review it after that, and we can give this a role name. Oops. So after all of that looks good, we can create this role. We can close down the IAM management console. And then once we're back here, we can refresh our new roles, and we should see this role as one of the roles we can select. So once we're there, we can add storage. This is what we would recommend, and this should default for you for the storage of this instance. We can add tags if we need to. And then also, lastly, we need to set up security groups. So the security groups here as well should also be exactly what we need. So there should be no other configuration that is needed, really, outside of adding your IAM role. So after all of this has been set up, we can click Review and Launch. And then we can review this instance and then launch. Also, you will need to provide a key instance pair to this. And that's it. So the installer and the launcher itself should take around anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes to boot up. And once that is booted up, we will get taken to a license page for the TSG Open Content Management Suite solution. So we are going to take a break, a short break, and we'll be back after that instance has completely come up. See you in a minute. Okay, so we're back after waiting around 10 minutes for the Amazon instance to start up. So as we can see, we have a license screen. So in order to get a license, we just need to follow the directions below and email inquiry@tsgrp.com or call the number that's provided. So once the people from the inquiry site get back to you, you will have either a floating license or a text license. Those are both just text documents, and you can use either one to log into your system. So after we have a text license, you just need to open the license and copy it, and then paste the contents over here, like so, and submit the license. Once the license is submitted, we'll be able to log into our system. So the username for our Marketplace instance is admin, and the password is going to be the instance ID of the AWS instance that was created by the Marketplace. So we can head over to our EC2 management console and grab our instance ID right here. And then we can use that as our password and enter the system. So once we're in the system, there are no documents. So I would like to quickly go through kind of a high level of how we use this instance, especially for an insurance scenario, which we have set up. So first things first, we'll need to create a claim and policy folder, which I will go through now. So up at the top, we can hit create new folder. We're going to create a policy or an underwriting folder in our case. So we're just going to add in a policy number here. We're going to have a policy year of last year. We can say this is any one of these different types of policies. We'll just say homeowners. The policy holder, we can have that be Homer Simpson. And we will say that this is an open policy with an expiration date of next year. So after filling in all of the information, we can just create the folder, and we're going to get taken to the folder view of that folder that's created. So right now I know that there's a lot going on the left side of the screen, and we will get to that. But right now what we really want to do is just add documents to this folder that we have. So once we open up the add documents action, we can simply just drag documents in order to add them to the system. So I have a few policy documents that we can add. You can see that they get added by their names getting populated here. You could remove these if you accidentally dragged in a document that you did not like. And once we click the next, we're going to come to our metadata page. And in particular, we're going to start at what we call bulk properties page. So bulk property page, all that means is any property that we add here is going to be held across all the different documents that we added to the system. So all three of these documents will automatically have policy number, policy year, and policy holder and status populated for them. These ones in particular are already populated from the folder attributes. So if we hit next, we're going to pull up our first document, and we have this in a heads up display next to you, so in case you need to actually look at the document while you're coding your metadata, you can do that. So this is our financial document, so we're going to label this as, we can label this as payment related, and then we can go to our annual report and we can call this a report, and then we can go to our policy contract and label this as a contract. So label or tag this as a contract. All right, so we have successfully added our policy documents, and we're going to want to do the same thing for some claim documents. So if we go up again to create new folder, we can go to a claims folder, and you can see that there's a little bit obviously different metadata here. So first thing we need to do is enter in some claim numbers. You can add myself as the claimant name. And then also, claims are going to refer back to a policy. So let's refer that back to the policy that we just created. We can leave the policyholder blank because it is not required to add in here. We'll keep this open. And we can fill in our loss date of today. And hopefully we can get this closed soon. So after everything has been entered in that we need, we can just go ahead and create the folder again. And once again, we're going to get taken now to this new claim folder. And you can see that based on the folder properties up here. We can see that we're in a claim, and here is the folder information. So again, we're going to go to Add Documents, and we will drag in some more documents over here. So we have 5 different documents that we're adding this time. And once again, we're taken to our bulk page, and the attributes that are already set up on the folder are once again going to get pulled up onto all these documents via the bulk properties page. So we can go through these as well. So this is going to be payment related. It's a fake check. And you can either use the drop down normally, or you can use this autocomplete. And so we have a report here. And the claim itself, we'll also label that as a report. And then once we're done, we can hit finish and upload. And the documents that we want to work with are in the system. So one of the easiest things to show off once we actually have documents in the system is how we can search on those documents when we're coming back to the system for a second or a third time. So here's our search page, and the first thing that you notice on the search page is we have various what we call tracks set up. So we can be searching either on claims or on policies here. And so based on what we want to search on, we also have different types to search on via the track. So when we're in underwriting, we can search on a policy folder or a policy document. And same thing with claims. If we switch to claims, we can search on a claim folder or a claim document. And also notice, based on what we're searching on, obviously the metadata of what we need to search on is going to change. So let's search on a claim document. So normally, if we're searching on claim documents, we know our claim number. So we can search on our claim number, and we get our results back. So we just added 5 documents to our claim, and we get all 5 back. And we can see the name here, the claim number, how we tag these documents, and the modified date. Based on configuration of the system, we could also see other metadata in this table, and you can add or remove these at any time. So once we have that, some other things to show off about our table view here is when we right-click a single document, we get various actions that we can perform on that single document. So an example here is we could view all of the properties of this document in a form, and this looks pretty similar to when we were adding the document, but this should be all of the attributes that you need to see, including maybe some system attributes like your modified date and your created date. You're also able to change them from here if you need to, but we're just going to cancel out of this. Another thing to note here is we can also run group actions from any of these with all of these search results. So if we select, for example, all of the checks, if we needed to, let's say, download all of these checks, we could select all of them, and we can either come up to the action menu up here, or if we right-click again with multiple selected, we see that this menu has changed, and these are going to be the same menu. So we need all the checks. We could say, hey, I need to download this as a zip. We can say, hey, this is the claim number checks. And then we can download all of those checks out of the system via a zip file. So now that we've kind of looked at very briefly our search page and features, let's go back into our folder and document viewer and take a look at what else we can do. So if we just click one of those documents links, we're going to get taken right to that document and to our Open Annotate viewer. So when we're looking at this document here, we can zoom in a little, and the view that we're in right now is the TSG product called Open Annotate. So we could, if we need to, annotate on any of these documents. So it looks like our collaboration server is not working right now. But if we go and we can have a selection tool here for any of the text that's here, we could, let's say, draw an ellipse around any of the words here and add a comment. We could, for example, highlight text here as well. We could add a text box. We could even stamp this document if we needed to. So let's say this has been reviewed. Okay. And if we, and these annotations are saved separately on the particular version of the document that we're looking at. So another thing to call attention here, outside of just the annotation tool that we have, are all the various individual actions that we can perform on this particular document. So again, we have a view properties action similar to what we saw in search, but if we open it up in our document viewer, you're going to get a nice side-by-side. So you could be looking and coding up new metadata and also looking at your document. We also have checkout and check-in functionality. So we could check out this document, and then we could be looking at this document. We can open it up and make changes to it ourselves, and then we could check it in. So once checked out, these actions up here have changed to check in or cancel checkout. So if I want to check in as a minor version, I can go and then check in, and then again drag over a document and then submit. And it's going to load up the new version of that document, and as you can see, we do not have any annotations since this is a new version of the document. And we could even view the various versions of this document, and we can see that our first version has annotations. Another feature that we can show off here is redaction. So we can redact this document as well. If we hit redact, that's going to open up this document in a new viewer. And this is via configuration. Open Annotate has kind of identified some things that are normally things that we like to redact. In this case, phone and fax numbers. So we can go ahead and we're in redact mode, and we can draw a redaction around those and hit OK. Kind of missed there. So we can just re-add that redaction, hit OK. Make sure that we get this page as well. And then we can click the Save button. So our redactions have finished saving, so we can close this new tab that got opened. And we can hit OK here to exit redact mode. And we can get into our new version that should have redactions. So this is opened, or this is saved as a new version in case you ever need to go back to a version that you did not have redactions to. So this is a completely new minor version of the document that you've been looking at. Lastly, just wanted to call attention. So we've been looking at the document over here, and we can also look at the folder properties and folder actions on our left side. So these are all the actions you can perform on a document, and here are all of the actions that you can perform in your folder. And one of the most common ones is going to be view all documents, which simply just shows all the documents that are in this folder. And you can see that this looks very similar to our search page. So whenever you click the view all documents, you're going to get our table view again, just like you did in our search page. And this has the same functionality. So those actions that we saw, we can work on them directly out of this view ourselves. And especially one that has been very helpful for a lot of our clients has been our combined PDF action. So let's say we have all three of these checks. It would be really nice to just have these as one PDF. So we could select all of them and say, hey, I would like to generate a combined PDF. So when we generate a combined PDF, there can be two different ways that we can combine this. We could combine it and just download it to our computer, or we could combine them and then add it back to the repository. And that's what we're going to see here, is this added back to the repository. So we have the various PDFs that we would like to combine here. It's going to list them in the order that they were selected, but we could change those. So if we want the check number 1 first, we could move that up via these sliders. And then we can hit next, and it's going to take us to our edit properties page. And these are going to be the properties of the new document that is created in our repository. So if we tag this, we can tag this once again as payments related, and then we could save this PDF. It's going to combine all of those PDFs, and then it's going to, again, add it into our system, is specifically into the folder that we are currently working in. So we can view that combined PDF, and we can see we have a nice intro page, which gives us a little index of what PDFs were combined here, and then we can look at all of those PDFs. And you can see if we go back to view all documents, we have all of our PDFs here, and then we have the combined PDF. Lastly, just want to also show off some of the other actions that are over here for our folder actions, most notably folder notes. So folder notes are helpful notes that are created sometimes automatically, or they could be created manually when various actions happen on a folder. So right now we have a note detail for an audit trail saying, hey, these documents have been successfully uploaded into this folder. We could also add a note, and we could say that this is also a claim issue, and say combined all checks into a single check PDF. And then once we submit this note, it will be added to the note page, and we can see exactly when all of these checks were combined into a single check. And then lastly, outside of the actions, we also have a different type of folder view down here based on our tags. So we can see all of the documents that are in this folder that are payment related or are reporting related. And if we, for example, were looking at one of the checks, we could look at another check in a side-by-side view by clicking on the icon next to the document that we want to see next to it that says Open in Dual Pane View. And then lastly, outside of just the folder contents that we have here, we also see that they're related policies. And what this is saying is we have configured up this related object section saying, hey, please show me all of the other policies that have the same policy number that this claim has. So this claim has a policy number of 121212. We can see, hey, here are all of the policy folders with 121212. And we could jump into that policy folder if we would like from here. So that about does it for our quick DynamoDB Open Content Management Suite demo. Thank you very much.